Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will explain one Django project, that is student management system. In this project I will discuss the total CRUD operations. C stands for create, R stands for read, U stands for update, and at last D for delete. At first I will explain the functionality, then I will go back to my code portion. Now I am explaining the functionality. It is one student management system project, and here we can see the nav menu, home, add student, student list, student names, and it is for showing the project name. And here it shows welcome to student management system, and here it shows the total count of students, and now there is no students, that's why it shows 0. Now at first I am coming to add student. Here we can see one form. Here ID is auto generated. That's why we can see the ID automatically. We cannot edit the ID. And now I am giving the details of the student. At first I am give name. Now I am giving date of birth. Now I am giving mobile number. Now I am giving email ID. Now I am giving state. Now I am giving pin code. Now I am clicking on add student button. Now it shows student added successfully, and here looks over here the ID converted to S002. Previously it was S001. It is incremented by 1 and it is completed by automatically because I took one function for generating the ID automatically. And again I am adding another student. I am giving name as Chandran. Now I am giving date of birth, gender male, mobile number. Now I am giving email ID, and here the email is unique. That's why when I will give one email that already in the list, then it will show one message that the email is already in the database. Actually, not database, already exists. It will show because here I did not use the database. That's why here no functionality of database. I just make it with list and dictionary. Now I am giving one email ID that's already exists in this project. Now I am giving a@gmail.com, which actually I gave for the previous student. And now I am giving state as Karnataka and pin code I am giving. Now every field already filled. Now I am clicking on add student. It shows email already exists because the email a@gmail.com already used for the previous student. That's why it shows this message. Now I am changing the email. I am giving c@gmail.com. Now when I will click on the button add student, this person email already exists. It will change to student added successfully, and looks here what will happen here. Now I am clicking on the button add student. Looks over here. Previously it was showing email exists, but now it shows student added successfully because I already changed the email to c@gmail.com, but previously was a@gmail.com, which was already in the dictionary of the student. That's why it was showing the message email already exists, but now I already changed the email. That's why it shows student added successfully. So now there are two students in the list, and now I am coming back to the home portion, and here it shows total students 2, because here the total number of students is 2, that's why it shows total students 2. Now I am coming to student list. It shows the total students, and here we can see that 2 rows and 2 rows for 2 different students, 1 row for 1 student, and here the first student Akash Das and the second student Chandan White. In this way we can add many students, and when we will add another students, they will come below of the S002. In this way it will growing the list. Now I am coming to the another portion, that is edit. Now I am clicking edit for Chandan White. Looks over here, it shows one form for update student, and here we can see that every field which already I filled previously, they are appear in the boxes. But here I want to update something. We can update one thing or many things in one time. It is possible in this project, and now I will update one thing, that is I am updating the mobile number. Now I am clicking on the update student, then it shows student updated successfully. Okay, and looks over here, it was previously 7777 in this way, but now I am updated to 9999 in this way. But the updation is successfully worked or not, for verification purpose I am coming to the portion of student list, and here we can see that the mobile number has been changed, because previously it was different from the present. That's why it shows that update worked successfully. That's why edit works very fine. And now I am coming to the delete portion. Now I am clicking on the delete for Akash Das. Looks over here, it shows localhost colon 8000, says, are you sure you want to delete this student? Okay or cancel? Because if by mistake any user click on delete, if then delete occurs directly, it can be one problem for the project. But if this dialog shows, then user can confirm or not. If user click on OK, then they confirmed for deletion, and if the user clicks on cancel, that means the user do not want to delete the record. Now I am clicking on OK. Looks over here, it shows only one student. The previous student, that was 2 students, and now it shows only one student. The student against the ID S0001 now has been deleted, and so delete works successfully. Now I am adding another student. The previous ID was S002, that's why it is auto incremented by 1 and it shows S003. Now I am giving one different name. I am giving mobile number. Then I am giving email ID. Email is always unique. If I give the email which are already used, then it will show one message email already exists, but I am giving one unique email. I am giving b@gmail.com, and here I am giving state. I am giving state as Andhra Pradesh, and now I am giving pin code. Now I am clicking on add student. It shows all fields required. Actually, I missed that gender, and I am clicking on male. Now every fields are filled. Now it will work successfully. Now I am clicking add student. Now it shows student added successfully. Now I am coming to the student list. Usually it shows the all records of the students. Now it shows two students, and previously the student for the ID is 0001 already deleted by me. That's why it shows only two students. Now I will perform another operation, that is search operation. Now I am clicking on search. It shows one page, and here the heading shows search by ID or email. It means I can search by ID as well as by email. Because ID is unique, it is auto-generated by one function, and also I implemented the field email as unique. That's why I can perform search by both the key ID and email. Now, when I am not clicking any field, then just when I am clicking search student, you will show one message. Please select search type. Because without selecting one search type, how I can give data? So it shows the message, please select search type. Now I am selecting the student ID. Now I am clicking on the text box, and now I am giving one ID is 002, and I am clicking now on search student. Here I can find the details of the student against the student ID is 0002, which appeared in this portion. It is the details about the student which ID each is 0002. Now I am giving one wrong ID. Just think I am giving is 0005, but this ID is not exist in my project. That's why it will show another message for error. Looks over here. What will happen? Now I am clicking on search student, and it shows student not found, and here the person disappeared. It is all about student ID. Now I am come to the person student email. Now I am clicking on student email, and now I will give one email ID. Now I am giving one email ID b@gmail.com. Now I am clicking search student, and it shows searching successful because the email b@gmail.com already exists. That's why it shows one message searching successful, and as well as we can see the details of the student whose email ID is b@gmail.com, and here we can find the details of the student ID, name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, and at last PIN. Now, when I will give wrong email ID, which is not in the project, then it will show one message that email is wrong or email is not valid. This type of message will show in this place. Let's see what is happening. Now I am giving one wrong email ID. Just think I am giving jet@gmail.com. Now I am clicking on search student. It shows student not found, as well as the portion of the student details disappeared because there is no student whose email ID is jet@gmail.com. That is all about search operations. Now I am coming to the another portion, that is student names. Here I implemented one drop down for seeing the all student names. Looks over here. When I am clicking here, it shows the list of the student names. Here only two students. That's why I can see only two students. If I can add another students, then they will appear just like this. They will appear bottom of Vikas Das, and in this way it will growing the drop down list. Okay, and now I am clicking one, that is just thing I am clicking on Vikas Das, and after clicking it shows the details of the student. Here I can find ID, name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, PIN, etc. For the student whose name is Vikas Das. In this way, when I am clicking on Chandran Maiti, it will show the record of the student whose name is Chondramoy. And it is very interesting when I am changing the name, the page is not refreshing because here I implemented the AJAX. That's why it is very important because without refreshing I can show the different data. Not only that, in the search portion, when I am giving wrong data, the portion has been disabled without refreshing the page because I implemented the AJAX concept in this project. That is all about AJAX, and the AJAX makes this project professional. Now I will see another thing, that is this project is also responsive because today we can use this project in one laptop, in one TV, or in one tablet, or maximum users are using mobile phone and they can open this project in their mobile phone. That's why I made this project responsive, and now I am showing how it is responsive. Looks over here, it is totally responsive because when I am changing the width of the page, the content of the page are changed. Actually, it is fitted as per the width of the page. And now I am seeing the this button, and here we can see the button home, at student, student list, student names, etc. And when I am clicking at student, the view is for tablet or mobile phone. So the users can use their mobile phone or tablet for inserting data, and so it is very great for the users who are using only mobile phones or tablet. Now when I am changing the weight, it just showing for TV or laptop. So it is responsive. Now I am coming to the coding portion. Okay. So now I am opening the VS Code, and it is all about the project. Okay, and now I am explaining one by one. It is the project structure of Django, and here it is app folder, it is the main project folder, and now I am explaining one by one. Let's explain me. Now at first I am coming to the settings portion. Okay, it is the settings page of our project. Here at first we can see from Artlib import part, then I am calling the OS module for perform some operations which are performed by the OS module. That's why I called the module OS for performing some operations. That's why I called the module OS. Now I am coming to the install apps portion, and it is very vital when we are connecting the app to the project, then we need to add this line. Okay, and if I use only one app, then it for one, and if I add another app, then in this way I will add another line. And what is this line? I am explaining now. At first, we can see student underscore app. What is this? It is actually the name of the app of the project. What is the app name? Here we can see the app name is student underscore app, and that is this. Okay, and then dot apps. What is apps? Apps is a file under the student app folder. We can find the app here. Just looks over here, apps.py. That is this. Now I am opening apps.py. It is a file apps.py, and here we can see class, then the class name. What is the class name? Here the class name is student app config, and it is used in the settings portion. Just looks over here, it is student app config, and here I am coming to the settings.py, and after apps dot, here we can find the same name, student app config. it is the class name under the apps.py. Now I am coming to the next portion which I modified. When normally I am creating one project, then between the third bracket there is nothing, but now we can see os.path.join between the parentheses base underscore dir, and then after comma between the single quotation templates. It is for connecting the templates folder with the project, because the pages which I already shown in the browser, they are all between the templates folder. That's why I connecting the folder templates with the project, and then it can possible to access the pages which already I explained previously in the Chrome browser. Okay, so I connected the folder templates to this project. Now I am coming to the next portion where I added something. Now here, uh, just I am coming to the portion. Yes, here it is the portion. Previously, the front slash in the starting portion was missing, but now I added the front slash and this portion totally was missing. It is similar as templates folder, and it is for adding the static file to our project. Here I wrote static files underscore dirs equal to between the third bracket os.path.join between the parentheses base underscore dir, and then between the single quotation static. It means what? Actually, it is very similar to the upper portion where I connected the templates folder with the project. So in a similar way, I can say that it is for adding the static folder or connecting the static folder to my project. Okay, it is all about settings portion. Now I am coming to the next vital point, which is urls.py of my project. Now I am opening the file of my project, that is urls.py. At first I am calling the module which are required for perform the operations. Here I calling the module from Django.contrib import admin, then from Django.urls import path and include, and at last from student underscore project import views. And now here I am connected to the app URLs. It is the URLs for the main project, but I need to connect the URLs of my app to this project. That's why I connected this, and here it shows one link. Now I am going to the URLs of my app. Okay, now I am already in the page of urls.py, that is under the app, that is student underscore app. Now I am explaining one by one. And first, similarly, I called the module path and include from the Django.urls main module, and then I called the module fuse from the current portion. And here it is the main thing for understand, because the whole project is controlled by the urls.py of my app and by this part, and these lines are very vital, because if I perform any wrong in these lines, then there will many problem in my project, and I am explaining one by one. At first path, then between the parentheses. At first it is total blank in single quotation, because at first it will open the blank route, just localhost colon 8000. That's why it will show nothing after localhost colon 8000. That's why I kept it as blank, and after comma here I wrote huge.home. Actually home is one function based view, which I will explain after some minutes. Just wait for explain that thing. And at last name equal to home, and there are three things. At first it is for routing purpose. This will appear in the portion after the localhost colon 8000, then after slash it will appear, and here it is nothing, and then it is the function based view, and then it is name, and after that at underscore student slash. Actually, when I will open this route, it will show that localhost colon 8000 slash at underscore student slash, and then huge dot add underscore student is similarly one function based view, which I will explain after some times. Now I am explaining one by one. Okay, so here we observed that here are three things. At first the route, then the function based view, and at last the name. Now I am explaining one by one. I already discussed two lines. Now I am coming to the portion of views.py file. Okay. Now already I opened the views.py file. It is the main logic of my project, and all the backend operations performed here, and I implemented all the logic here. Okay, it is one Python file. Now I am explaining line by line. Then there the understanding will be very clear. Okay. Now similarly here I called the module render and redirect for performing the operations which are dependent on the module render and redirect, and similarly I called the module HTTP request, HTTP response, and addressed JSON response from the module Django.http. And here I took one list named student underscore list, and which already one empty list, and it is the main thing for storing the details of the student, and it is the outer storage, and between the list I will store many dictionary, one dictionary for one student. Okay, and one dictionary will hold the data for the student. That will be explained after some time. Now I am coming to the function based view, that is home, and request is mandatory for function based view, and here I wrote after colon HTTP request because it is one request type, and it will return what? It will return one response, because if I requesting, then it will obviously return one response. That's why the HTTP request will return one HTTP response. And here I am just calculating the length of the student. So here I am taking one reference that named total underscore students, and after initializing it, I used the inbuilt module that is len, and we know that len is very popular method in list for calculating the length of the list. So here I calculating the length of the list by the len method, and then I wrote the name of the list, that is student underscore list. Now I am returning to the template, return render, then request, then it is what? It is the name of the HTML page, and I wrote student slash home.html. And why I wrote this, now I am explaining it. Just I am expanding the templates, and here we can see one folder student. Now I already expanded the student folder, and here we can see that home.html. So I wrote student slash home.html, and after that, after comma, I am passing one context, that is total underscore students. It is the key, and here value is total underscore students. What is this? It is the reference which just storing the length of the list. Actually it is the count of the students. Okay, now I am coming to the next portion, that is generate underscore student underscore id. It is actually very important thing, that it is one function for calculating the, not calculating, it is for generating the student id automatically, which I already explained in Chrome browser. Now I am explaining the function generate underscore student underscore id. At first I wrote if not student underscore list, that means when student list is totally empty, that means there is no student between the list. Then I am return between the second colon, between the, I am returning return is 001, and it is the id for first student, and I wrote it between the double quotation because it is one string. Now I am calculating, I am finding the last id. We know that in list we can perform reverse indexing. That's why I wrote last id equal to student list, and between the third bracket -1. That means it will give the last id of the list. And here I am accessing the value of the dictionary where the key is student underscore ID, and so it will give one ID of the last student. Now I am calculating the number between the ID. Here it is the combination of alphabet and number, but I need the only number portion, that is 001. So I am performing the slicing operation of list. Here between the third bracket I wrote 1 colon. It means what? Actually in the slicing the lower bound is not inclusive. Actually lower bound is not lower bound is inclusive and the upper bound is not inclusive, but here I did not give any upper bound, so it starts from the lower bound, that is from 1, but we know that indexing starts from 0, so the s is for 0 and then 0 is for 1, so now s is out from the ID. So I just getting that 001. So it is totally integer, but also I am converted the string 001 to integer for performing addition operations. Now I am incremented by 1, so I wrote plus 1. Now I am returning with the f string, and f string is very important because it is very easy to implement. So I implemented the f string and then between the double quotation s between the third bracket number colon 03d. Just it return s then 3 digits. Now I am coming to the next vital function based view, that is add underscore student. Similarly, request HTTP request, HTTP response, which I already explained in the previous FBV, that is function based view. Now I am coming to the next portion. Now it is very important. Now I am opening my AJAX portion. Just I am expanding the static folder, then I am expanding JS. Now I am opening the AJAX portion, and it is very important because it makes my project very professional, because without refreshing my page, just I can see the details of the student. I am changing the record by changing the name of the student. So it is very important because without refreshing it performs many operations. Okay. Now I am explaining line by line. At first, $document.ready function console.log ajax ready, then has btn register, and it is very important. That's why I need to open the template, that is add underscore student.html. Now I am explaining the HTML page, then the part will be very easy to understand. That's why just at first I am explaining my add student HTML page. Okay. So to explain my add underscore student.html, I need to explain the first thing, that is base.html, because here I already extends the base.html. That's why I am moving to the page, that is base.html. Then the understanding will be very clear. So I already opened the base.html, and here I can show between one Ginger template load static. But what is load static? I am coming to the portion. It is static, and between the static folder we can see there are two folders, that they are CSS and JS. CSS for CSS file, then that is style.css, and similarly, and between the JS folder, that is ajax.script.js, and they are very important for performing the operations, not for performing various things. So at first I am loading the static, then it is one very normal page for HTML. But here I implemented something. At first, between the Ginger template, I implemented the title, that is student project. And now I am coming to the next portion. Here I am connecting the jQuery. It is the connecting line for jQuery. Okay. And then I am connecting my local file of the JavaScript, that is ajax underscore script.js, and it is the line for connecting my JavaScript file to my project. Okay, here I wrote between the angle bracket script src equal to between the Ginger template static, then between the single quotation js slash ajax underscore script.js. Okay, now I am coming to the next portion, that is it. Just here I am linking the portion for performing design. And then I am coming to the next portion. Here I included a number. What is the number? A number actually is what is in the upper portion for different menu. I am coming to the number. Then it will be very clear. Now I am coming to the number. Then there will be no doubt because I am explaining line by line. And when any new thing is coming now, then I just moving on that thing. So I think that there will be no doubt in my explanation. Now I am coming to the number.html because here number.html appeared. So I am moving to the portion that is number.html and it is between the include folder. I am opening the number.html. It is the number. Okay. And here we can see that here different nav link for different portion, home, add student, student list, student names, and I am connecting just in this way between the template, percentage URL, and between the single quotation home. In this way, I connecting the portion. And similarly, add student, all students, all names. Okay, and at last it is for the search portion. Already I explained in the design portion where I am clicking for searching. Okay, and it is for that. And now I am coming to the next portion that is the button for search. That is all about number. Now I am coming to the previous file that was base.html. Just I was moved from this line because number appeared here and now I am coming to the next portion that is the body block and here I wrote deep container and between the deep hello everyone and now I am coming to the end block portion and now I am connecting the serial link. Okay, just similar to this line. Now that all about base.html. Now I am moving to the page from where I came to this page. Okay, that was I think at underscore student.html. Yes, it is the page from where I moved to the page base.html. It is the line from where I moved to the file base.html. And here I wrote between the Jinja template extends based on HTML. But we know that extends is a very important keyword in Java for extending one page from another. It is for inheritance purpose because all the functionality I am inheriting from the base.html to my page add underscore student.html and it is very important thing because uh, we do not need to write the code repeatedly and it will if we write repeatedly it will consume more time not only that it will not a good practice so I inheriting the base.html to my page okay and now it is for loading the static folder. Now here, looks over here, between the Ginger template, it is for title. And here I wrote one conditional statement that is between the Ginger template, if each underscore edit when it is true. That means when each underscore edit is true, then it will show update student, and when it is false, it will show add student. Actually, I implemented both thing, edit and add in one page. So I wrote in this way, and it is a page for add as well as for update. Now I am explaining one by one, then the understanding will be very clear. Now it is container, then it is for styling purpose. Now I am taking one form where I am giving the ID student form and CSRF token which is under the Ginger template and it is very important because it provides more security to our project and so why it makes our project very secure. Now I am coming to the next portion. It is for heading and here I similarly use the conditional statement each edit just like this. It is for the heading purpose okay and where when EJREAD is true, then it will show update student, just same as this line. And when it is false, it will show that student. Now I am coming to the next portion. It is deep for ID. And here I am taking one deep where the class is called dash md-6. And here, looks over here, it is one input box, and here the type is text and name is student underscore ID. And here name field is very important because I implemented many operations by accessing the name field. So it is very important in my project. And now the ID, I also added the ID, but here I did not implement the ID field. I just implemented the name field, but ID I used for the form, for the button. They are also used in my project. Okay. Now I am coming to the next portion. That is ID. And here value equal to what? Just like same is edit, when it in edit mode, then it will retrieve the data of the particular student by dot student underscore ID. And when it is not, that means when is edit is not true, that is false, then it will show the student ID. It will be very clear when I will explain the views.py and the AJAX portion. Okay. Just it is for name field. I just moved to this file from the AJAX portion. I am coming to the AJAX portion. I moved because the button was appeared. So for explaining the button, I came to the portion of the add student. So I am explaining the whole add underscore student. Then it will be very clear. Then I will move to the AJAX part. Okay. Now it is for name, and similarly it is another text box and name is student underscore name. I already told that the name field is very important because I perform many operations by using this name. So it is very important for giving the name in my project. And here placeholder enter name, it will show the message enter name for the user, so user can understand what is required for this field. And then ID, and then value is student underscore name, and then default colon nothing, that means blank. That means when it is under edit mode, then it will get data for the student and it access the data by the dot. And when it is under add mode, then there will be no student, so it will not retrieve any data, so it will show blank by default. So I wrote this, and it is same for that, only the difference is input type is date. Previously it was text, and here we can see it is date. It is the only difference between these, and other difference also here, but they are very simple, so I did not explain the things. And then I am coming to the person, and it is different, so I will explain it. And it is the div, it is the label for gender, and here I am taking another div, and here I am taking to radio button for male and female. And we know that when we are implementing radio button, the name should be always same. That's why I wrote student underscore gender in the two input type. Okay, two input box. And here value is male for first, and value for second is female. And here also I wrote when student underscore gender equal to male means when it is under edit mode. So it will retrieve the data for student gender, and when it found the gender is male, then it will usually check the field male, and similarly it also for female. And now I am coming to the mobile. It is very important and it is very simple thing. Here I am taking type equal to 10, then name equal to student underscore mobile, and here I wrote the pattern 6 to 9, which means it will start from either 6, either 7, either 8, or from 9, and then 0 to 9 because it will the other numbers. and it can be 0 to 9 and then 9 because already one number taken and the rest of the number will be coming. So I wrote 9 because the total digits is 10 and it performs for one digit, so the other 9 digits. So I wrote between the curly bracket 9 and then max length equal to 10. We know that the mobile number always for 10 digits and it is for same thing. When it is under edit mode, it will retrieve data for student mobile, and when it is for adding student, it will normally show empty. Now I am coming to the email. It is same as mobile, okay? So I am not explaining it because there are too much things to explain me. That's why I leave it. And now I am coming to the next portion for state. And here I take the select menu, and here many state Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Gujarat, West Bengal, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and here I also implemented if. Actually, when under edit mode, when actually each underscore edit is true, then it will retrieve data for the specific student. That's why it will get data for the state. And here I wrote student underscore state. It means when it is under edit mode, okay, then it will usually retrieve data for the student state. And when it is equal to Andhra Pradesh, then usually it needs selected the Andhra Pradesh. Similarly for Bihar, Gujarat, West Bengal, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, actually it is for edit portion. But when I am adding something, then there will be just select state. It will comes under the box. Nothing will comes under the box. And when I am clicking the select state, then we can see the Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Gujarat, West Bengal. In this way, the rest of the states. Okay. Then I am coming to the next portion, pin code. It is very normal and pattern already I explained in the mobile portion. So I am leaving this portion and value. It is very similar to the upper portion. I repeatedly explained this portion, so I am leaving it. And now I am coming to the part from where I come to this page from the AJAX page. Okay, and it is the thing that is needed for the AJAX. Here I wrote button type equal to submit plus equal to button primary ID equal to BTN register. It is very important BTN register which I already used in the AJAX portion. And then similarly if each edit then it will show update student, and similarly when it is not edit then it will show add student. And after that I am taking one empty div. It is for success or error, and it is all about the add student page. Now I am coming to the page, coming to the I am coming to the file. From this portion I went to the another portion. Now I am explaining it. Here between the dollar, between then the parenthesis, between the double quotation hash BTN register. We know that hash is very important for accessing one ID. So I wrote hash BTN register. Just it accessing the ID for the water. Then dot click function event. Dot click means it is clicking function. That's why I wrote dot click. And here event dot prevent default means normally it preventing to load by default. And here const student underscore ID. Then between the dollar input name equal to student ID. Actually, I told that the name field is very important for my project for accessing many performance. Actually, for performing many operations. So I wrote name equal to student ID dot val. That means just it retrieve the data from the page add underscore student. Just from here, it will retrieve the data from the name field. Okay, and then similarly for name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, pin code, and CSRF middleware token. It is very important for security purpose. And now I am writing console.log student ID, student name. It will for debugging purpose. Actually, by this line, I can understand it is performing in a correct way or not. If I can see the data after this portion, then I think that everything is okay. But if I did not see the data, then I can understand that some problem occurred. So it is for debugging purpose. Okay. Now I am coming to the next portion. $.ajax URL. It is for routing purpose. Add underscore student, and it is just I am coming to the URLs portion. Then it will be very clear. Okay. Now I am coming to the URLs of the app. Add underscore student. It is used there. Okay. It is that, and then method post and data. I am retrieving the data just like key value pair, student ID. The left hand side are the key and the right hand side are the values. So the portion of the left hand side are key. So the student underscore ID, student underscore name, these are keys, and the values at the right hand side, student underscore ID, student underscore name, these are the values. Now I am coming to the next portion, that is success and error message. It is very important. Success and error. When I am returning success, then it will perform this, and so I am coming to the portion of views. Then it will be very clear. Okay, views.py. Just here, if request.method equal to post, then s underscore id equal to request.post.get student underscore id. Actually, it retrieves from the AJAX portion, that is this portion. Okay, and similarly, name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, pin, and the portion student underscore ID, student underscore name. These are the portion of AJAX. Okay, I think everything is clear. Now I am coming to the next portion of the views. So then there would be, then the rest of the things will be very clear. Now I wrote if not all, SID, name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, pin. Then it will return one JSON response in the status in the form of error status. Because when I was adding data in my Chrome browser, then when I am leaving one field or more than one field, that means when I did not fill all the fields, then one message was showing that all fields required. It is the purpose in, and these two lines each and these two lines each for the functions. And here I wrote if not all SID name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, pin, it will normally return one JSON response, and where status is error and message is all fields required. And here status is key and message is key and values are error and all fields required. And now if student underscore list means when student underscore list is not empty. For student in student underscore list, that means student underscore list is one list, and I already told that in the list I storing many dictionary for the students, one dictionary for one student. So now at the moment the student reference holding one dictionary from the list student underscore list, and the dictionary is about the student, and it holds all the data of the specific student. Now I am using the conditional statement if student and between the third bracket between the double quotation student underscore email, and it is the key of the dictionary, and equal to email, and equal to email means just I am comparing with this, and student ID not equal to S ID. That means when it is not equal to S underscore ID, because when I am updating, then the ID is same. And if I changing my email, then it's okay, no problem. But I am not changing my email, then if I do not give this line, then it will one problem, because then it will show that email already exists, because in the update it is a type of addition. So I am adding the portion student underscore ID not equal to SID means when I am updating for specific student, then there the email would be same. There will no problem. So I wrote in this way. And here return JSON response status error message email already exists. Okay. Because when the email for another student will same, then it will show one message. Email already exists. Now I am coming to the next version, and it is for updation for student in student in student underscore list. Similarly, the student reference will hold one dictionary for the specific student in one text. And now I am checking if student ID equal to SID. Actually, when it matches with the ID, then I am updating the dictionary. We know that update is used for updating one dictionary, and here I wrote student.update, and between the parentheses between the curly bracket I am updating with the value. Okay, now I am returning the JSON response with the status success and the message student edit updated successful, and here I am passing one reference each edit with true. Now I am coming to the next portion. It is for addition. Just I am taking one dictionary which is student underscore dict, and here I am passing the data for the key of the dictionary. Student ID, student name, student DOB. They are the key, and the right hand side are the values. Okay. Now it makes one dictionary, and now just I am appending the dictionary to the blank list. We know that append is used to adding one thing to the list at the last, and just in this way I am appending the dictionary to the list, and when I will add the second student, it will append to the dictionary at the last. In this way, it will occur, and then it will returning one JSON response, and status will be success, and the message will be student added successfully. And here I wrote next ID, and it is very important to generate underscore student underscore ID, because when I am adding, then it is required for generating the ID. So I called the function generate underscore student underscore ID, and each underscore edit colon false, because just I am adding. So edit is false. Edit is only true for the updation portion. And now else return render request student slash add underscore student dot html. It is this page. I already explained the template. Now I am coming to the AJAX. No, not AJAX. I am coming to the view version, and it is rendering to the page with the context student ID. And here I call the function for generating the student ID, and here is edit is false, because edit is true only for updation, not for all. Okay, it is for addition and updation, but there is another updation function, and now I am explaining the update, then it will be very clear. I am coming to the update portion. No, actually I am talking about edit portion. Edit, it is that it is one function based view edit underscore student request, then I am passing one student underscore ID and student data. At first I am taking none, but here student ID, it makes some confusion, but after some time I will explain, then it will be very clear. So I am coming to the AJAX portion. Here when success, then it will exit, and it will takes the status and checking each error or success. When it is error, then it will show the message response.message, means the message in the views. And similarly, when success, it will show the message. And when I wrote, when there is no edit, that is edit is false, then I will resetting the form, student form. Okay. And now when I am getting the next ID, then it will assign to the value of the student ID with the response.next ID. Because after adding one student, it will come. Because when the first ID is S001, the next ID should be S002, and it is the line for performing the operation. Okay. And after that, alert, something went wrong with others. When the other error will occur, then it will show an alert message with error, something went wrong with others. It's all about the add student button. Now I am coming to the next portion. That is I am coming to the urls.py, and it will be very clear what is the next thing. It is the next thing. All underscore students. It is the next route. So I am coming to the views portion, views.all students. Now I am coming to the views.py. All students. It is the all students page. All students function page view. Okay, just here I am returning to the page student underscore list.html by passing on context all underscore students. It is the key, and here I am passing the whole list, that is student underscore list. Now I am coming to the student underscore list.html. Then it would be very clear. So I am coming to the page student underscore list.html. Now it is a page for student list, and it is very similar for the previous page. Already I explained, so I am leaving the portion. I am coming to the main thing. Okay, it is table, and here the head, and here the table heading ID, name, date of birth, gender, mobile, email, state, pin, edit, delete, and here I wrote between the template student in all underscore students, and here it will iterate one by one, and it will show student.student ID. It is for accessing the ID, same as the others. It is for name, it is for date of birth, it is for gender, it is for mobile, same as the rest of the thing. Okay, and it is the main thing. It is very important to understand. Okay, here I wrote URL 18 underscore student student.student ID. Actually, here it is the routing purpose, and it is for ID, because by this I can hitting the specific student. Okay, and similarly it is for delete, and here I wrote the class btn sm btn primary edit, and it is for delete. I am showing this person student list. It is the buttons edit and delete. Okay, so it is edit and it is delete, and one click return confirm means it will finally ask the user, are you sure? It is for that person. Okay, now I am coming to the next person, the urls.py. urls.py, and here all underscore students. So I am explaining the function. No, I am explaining. I already explained the page as well as the function based view. So all names is clear in my explanation, and now I am explaining the search underscore students. The next route is search underscore students, and the next function based view is search underscore students. That is for actually this. Now I am coming to the code. Then I am coming to the views.py. Search underscore student. It is checking the method post, and then it is getting data. Search underscore type, search underscore data. Before that, I am explaining the template student underscore search.html, and it is similarly for add student. Just here, I am taking two radio buttons for searching category. One is for student ID, and the other is for email, and at last one text box for entering the search data, and at last one button for submitting the search data. Okay, and it is very easy to understand, because already this type of things I already explained in the previous page for adding student, that is add underscore student or HTML. It is very similar to the page add underscore student. Okay, so I am explaining the AJAX. Here the button is BTN search. It will be used in my AJAX. Just looks over here, BTN search, just like this. Here was BTN register, and here is BTN search. Just a different name, because different ID for different button. Just very normal thing. And here prevent default already explained. And here has result.html blank. What is has result? I am opening the search student. Just this. It is one empty div, because I will adding some data in the AJAX portion. So it will come without refresh. That is the main thing for this line. Okay. And here each ID result, and by this ID I am accessing it in AJAX. So here has result or HTML blank, because at first it should be blank, and then search data, search type, search data. It is very similar to the upper portion, and when there is no search type, then it will show a message. Please select search type, and when there is no search data, it will show a message. Please enter student data. Okay, and now it will for debugging purpose. and now it is for URL method post, and now I am passing the data as key value pair. Now it is very similar to the upper portion success and error, and the portion from here it is very important. Now I am explaining from this dollar sign, okay, and it is different from the another button. So I am explaining from here. Dollar has search underscore message dot html, and what is search underscore message? Showing this. I am showing this. It is one empty div, and here it will be added by the AJAX. So at first I am taking one reference const student equal to response dot student, because I am passing the student as context, which I am showing. Then it will be very clear. Okay, just I am passing this context student key, and the data is student. But before that, I am explaining the upper portion, and it is very similar to the upper portion of the addition. And now, if not search type or not search data, then it will showing one message error, and all fields required it will show. And here student equal to none. I am taking one reference with empty, that is none. And if search type equal to student ID, when search type equal to student ID, then I am checking in this way, student equal to next, and between the parentheses, and then again parenthesis s for s in student underscore list. If s student id equal to search data, then none. I am explaining this line, and it is very important because in one line I perform many things. At first s will one dictionary from the list student underscore list, and then it will check is student id equal to search data. If it is okay, then it will store the student to the reference student. But if it is not true, then it will not crash the program. It will just store the none to the student. And then similar way, elif search type equal to email, and it is very similar to this line. And then else, when these are problematic, then else what will works. And then if student, because it means what? When student found it, then it will normally return just one response, and usually the status will be success and the message will be searching successful. And here I am passing the context student, then the student. It is the key and it is the value student, and student is one dictionary for the specific student. And here return render request student slash student underscore search dot html. It is all about the template of the searching. Okay, now I am coming to the AJAX portion, and it is the AJAX, and here response dot student, it gets data for the specific student, and here I am taking one const table, and then between this here I between the backticks I wrote this div, and between this table heading, table data, and here I am accessing the student ID, just dollar, then the curly bracket, then student dot student underscore ID, because I already get the data, I already get the dictionary for the student, and I am accessing the ID name by the dot. In this way, it performs the operation, and after that, I am adding the table to the HTML of the div where the ID was result. Just I am adding this, and where it will be at, just I am showing the portion. Just I am showing the portion student underscore search, and it is the portion. It is the portion result, and here it will be added. Okay, the ID is result, and I am showing the AJAX portion. Then you will be very clear about the portion has result. But that means I am accessing the ID of the div, and here I am adding normally the table, and it is the function. It is very professional because in my AJAX I am adding this without refreshing the page. It will show or hide the data of the student, and so it is very professional in view because it is performed without refreshing my page. So it is very important. And error function, it is very similar to the upper portion. It will show one message error, something went wrong with AJAX. And now it is another portion. Now I am explaining to the urls.py, and then I will come to the next portion. Now I am coming to the app urls.py. I already explained the search. Now I am coming to the portion edit. It is for routing purpose, and it is dynamic route because the student ID will be changed in each time, because when I am clicking the student for the ID S001, then in the portion of the routing it will show S001, and when I will click on the student on the for the ID S0002, then it needs to changing the ID. So it is very normal thing for changing the ID. So I make the routing as dynamic routing. Neither if I don't use this, then it would be problematic for understand. So I implemented in this way. Now I am coming to the function based view, that is edit underscore student. So I am coming to the views.py. Now I am showing the function based view edit underscore student, and here I am passing the student ID. Okay, and here I am taking one reference student underscore data, that is none, because at first I am taking one reference without data, and so I initialize it with none. And here I am implementing one for loop for student in student underscore list. Here student underscore list is one list, and I already explained what is student. Student is one dictionary, and actually, student is one reference, and each iteration it will hold one dictionary for the specific student. And here I am using the conditional statement if then student between the third bracket between the double quotation student underscore ID equal to student ID. Actually, it checks each the ID is equal to this. If not, then problematic, and that means student not found. And when it matches with the student ID, then I initializes the student underscore data with the student, and then I am breaking the loop. Okay, and now I am returning the render with request, then student slash add underscore student dot html, and here I also am passing the key student with the student data, and each edit true, because here I am perform edit, so it is always true for edit operation. Okay, now I am coming to the urls.py, and then I will explain the another portion, and that is delete. It is also another dynamic route. Now I am coming to the model function based view, that is delete underscore student. So I am coming to the views.py. So I already come to the views.py. I am searching for the function delete. Okay, I found this function based view, and it is that. Here I am passing the student ID, and here I am using global student underscore list, because here I am passing the whole list. So I am accessing just like global, and here I wrote list comprehension. It is very important, because here between one line I perform many things, and if I wrote in another way, it will take 3 to 4 lines. So it is very important, because I perform many things between one line. I am explaining one by one. So at first, S in student underscore list means S is one reference, and each time it will hold one dictionary for the specific student, and then it will check S student underscore ID not equal to student underscore ID, because I want to delete one ID, and it will store the data of the all students, just leaving the student ID for the deletion, and rest of the students will be stored between the list. And now I am return redirect all underscore students. Okay, all underscore student is what I am coming to the urls.py, then it will be very clear. All underscore student, it is the portion. Okay, now I am coming to the next portion, that is get underscore student get underscore student underscore details. And here I took another page, that is student underscore names. Now I am explaining this template, then I will move to the another portion. Student underscore names. It is very similar to the upper to the another page, just here it is different. Now I am explaining it. Here already I returned one thing, that is under views.py, that is get underscore student underscore details. Here, when a request dot method equal to post, then student underscore ID equal to request dot post dot get student underscore ID. It is already used in AJAX. Just I am coming to the views.py, and I think another function based view is present. Yes, it is the function based view. I was searching for this function. I found it. Now I am explaining. It is very similar to the upper portion. Just here I am rendering to the page student underscore names dot html, that is this page student underscore names, that is the page. And here I am passing another context, that is all underscore students, it is the key. And here I am passing the whole list, that is student underscore list, it is that. Okay, now it is for that. Okay, but when I am clicking it will show the data. It is another person. Now I am explaining it. I am going to the urls.py and it is for that. When I am clicking on a student, it shows the details of the student and it is for that. And here I wrote the function based view that is get underscore student underscore details, and so I am coming to the views.py and I am explaining the function. Okay, get underscore student underscore details. It is there. Before that, I am showing another things. Here I am taking one select button and I am giving one ID student select for accessing it in the AJAX file. So I give this ID student select, and here student in all students, student or student ID, student or student name. Here the option value is student ID because I perform all things by accessing the student ID. When I am hovering my cursor just like this, the bottom left corner it shows edit slash s0002. That means I am targeting the student by accessing the ID. It is very similar, and so here I am passing the value for student ID. Here I am passing student ID in the value portion. Okay, and here it shows student dot student underscore name. So it will showing the names. Okay, and when I am clicking on one name, then the Ajax part will perform the operation. So I am coming to the Ajax portion, Ajax underscore script.js, and here it is the ID student select. Then what is the operation type? It is change. I am changing the drop down. So I wrote dot change then function const student underscore ID equal to dollar this dot val. That means it retrieve the value for the current selection, and then here CS current middleware token for security purpose, and then if not student ID, that means when I am selecting nothing, then it is totally blank. Now it is not student ID. Okay, so here it shows. So here it shows student details dot hide. That means it will hide the all portion of the student details. Then it will normally return, and then the other portion URL get underscore student underscore details method post, and it is very similar to which I already explained previously. And then success function response, and it is very similar to the upper portion already explained. Okay, it is same as this. So I am leaving this portion and then just appending the table to the HTML, and then so at first I was hiding this, and when the data found, and it will show, and else response to the message, and then if any other record occurred, then it will show one message in the alert error something went wrong with Ajax, and it is all about the Ajax portion. And I am coming to the routing portion urls.py, and I think everything is discussed by me and there is nothing in my project. So at last I am coming to my Chrome browser, and I think I already explained everything, search, student names, and I use Ajax in the portion of add student, update student, and search. Here without refreshing the page, I can showing the data just in this way, student ID is double zero A001. Just looks over here. When I am clicking search student, there is no refresh, but without refreshing the page, it will show the data of the student whose ID is S001. Did not found, but why actually it happened? Because I already deleted the student whose ID was S001. I am saying it S002. Just looks over here, the student details comes in my page without refreshing the page, so Ajax works properly, and it also used in this. When I am clicking the student name, it will show the data without refreshing the page. Also when I am clicking on it, it is showing without refreshing the page. So in this way, Ajax performs very professional thing in my project, and also I make this page responsive, and I am showing the another thing, that is my CSS file, and it is my CSS file for giving style to my project. Okay, it is my CSS file, and CSS file used for giving the style in this way, and everything is discussed by me. I think everything is clear now. Everything is completed in my project. So I am completing my video. Thanks for watching.